65,000 years ago, humans of our kind began a dazzling journey, a journey that would eventually make us rulers of the world. Before us, the Earth was ruled by dinosaurs for 179 million years. The puzzling and dazzling story of the first humans. Who are we? Who were our ancestors? How did we spread world over after evolving in Africa? How did we cross seas and rivers? Climbed mountains, traversed forests, deserts and glaciers. What we ate. Were we alone? What happened to our brothers and cousins? Our mysterious past, the fragile beginning, our fight to survival and dominate the world. We the modern men, Homo sapiens. Dinosaurs lived and ruled the Earth from 245 million to 66 million years ago. This vast era spanned the Triassic, Jurassic, and Cretaceous periods. Then, as if by the hand of fate, all dinosaurs went extinct, except for one lineage that survived the cataclysm, the avians. Today's birds are their distant descendants. Then, one fateful day, something appeared in the sky. A comet, hurled from the depths of space, struck the Earth. That was the doomsday. The dinosaurs were wiped from existence. The Earth cooled for millions of years, slowly healing from the catastrophe. Over time, from primates, humans began to emerge. There were several kinds, at least 15 known types of archaic humans. But only our kind, the Homo sapiens, would go on to dominate the planet. The others gradually disappeared, vanished into extinction. Anatomically modern humans first appeared around 300,000 years ago in Africa. But their story didn't begin there. Earlier human species roamed the Earth as far back as 2 million years ago. Some of them, like Homo erectus and Homo habilis, emerged earlier. Migration is an inborn instinct shared by animals, birds, and humans alike. Long before us, hominins and other archaic human species had begun exploring Eurasia. 65 to 70,000 years ago, the Earth wore only its wildest faces. Vast savannas stretching beyond sight. Dense forests whispering ancient secrets. And endless deserts shimmering like illusions. At this pivotal moment, humankind stood at a great crossroads in East Africa. The planet was still recovering from the catastrophic supervolcano eruption in Indonesia, which occurred 74 to 70,000 years ago. That single event had reduced the global population to fewer than 1,000 souls. Around 65,000 years ago, small bands of humans began their exodus from Africa. The land where they had first evolved. Each group was small, only 25 to 100 people. Men, women, children. They followed the coastal route eastward, eventually reaching India, Indonesia, and Australia. The coastal path offered a steady supply of food and water. Later, some ventured northwest toward Europe. The Americas were the last frontier to be crossed. Among the first to leave was Matre, a young woman, beautiful, with a fierce gaze. She was a descendant of the Universal Mother, whom we'll call Grandma. Grandma had several children, but only Matre's lineage survived the ages. Pitre was a curious man, whose eyes seemed to pierce beyond the present moment. He was a descendant of the male line, Grandpa. Today, all people outside Africa descend from Grandma and Grandpa. Every step they took was a challenge. Rivers roaring like beasts. Mountains piercing the sky. And deserts stretching into silence. They journeyed across sea coasts, scaled towering mountains, and braved unforgiving seas, sailing fragile rafts made of wood or bamboo. Deserts, dense forests, raging rivers, nothing could stand in their way. These early humans lived as hunter-gatherers. By day, they foraged the land, seeking sustenance in roots, fruits, and game. At times, they ate their prey raw. But they had discovered fire, a discovery that changed everything. Cooking was simple yet profound, roasting meat directly over open flames. It was time to eat. A hearty meal to nourish body and soul. Something strange began to unfold. As they climbed a hill, Pitre's eyes caught peculiar marks in a cave. Ancient symbols carved into stones, unlike anything their people had seen before. His heart raced. Were they truly alone in this vast world? Matre felt it too. A hidden presence, watching from the shadows of the trees. Their journey through uncharted lands was full of surprises and dangers at every turn. Predators lurked on land and in water, by day and by night. Tigers, lions, elephants, rhinoceroses, crocodiles, snakes. One moment of distraction, and death would follow. The animals of their world were not unlike those we know today, though far more diverse. Many species have since vanished, wiped from existence. After the extinction of the dinosaurs, a great many giants of the animal kingdom, megafauna, disappeared, leaving the Earth to be reshaped. The flora and fauna were strikingly different beyond the easternmost edges of Indonesia. For instance, kangaroos are found only in Australia, isolated by vast oceans that stood as natural barriers between continents, a testament to nature's power of separation. Still, they pressed on, driven not only by hunger and survival but by a growing certainty that they were not the first to walk this path. After many days of walking, as the sun began to set, they stood atop a ridge. In the distance, faint smoke rose from a valley. Another band of people. Another human tribe. The old woman, their silent leader, nodded. No words were spoken. But the unspoken truth was clear. This journey was not just about leaving home. It was about uncovering a world of mysteries far greater than they ever imagined. One day, they finally met this other people. They looked different. Bulkier, with broad structures and slow, deliberate movements. Yet, they were friendly. One of their young girls, Neen, was instantly attracted to a handsome member of Pitcher's band. Later, they lived together. This was the beginning of Neanderthal genetic contribution to modern humans. They met another distinct people. Shorter, yet fast-moving. Again, friendliness prevailed. And naturally, they intermingled. The Denisovans. Early humans learned the art of fire-making long before we can imagine. They invented several ingenious ways to kindle flames. Roasting a freshly hunted deer over fire provided not only nourishment but warmth and protection against lurking predators. After a hard day's toil, they shared precious moments with their family. Quiet conversations, simple yet profound. Not long ago, they had discovered the power of speech. Language was still crude, its structure nascent, but enough to exchange thoughts, to laugh, to cry. A fragile beginning of a story that would one day shape the future of mankind. Not all encounters were of peace and love. Hot heads, fierce rivalries, and villains appeared. Both among their own band, and among the new people they met. Including Homo erectus, encountered deep in the new lands. The life went on. When nature tested their resilience, nature also provided a way out. Highest of mountains, endless rough seas or impenetrable forests, nothing could deter them from creating the incredible human saga. Seas were shallower then. Many places now submerged under sea, were exposed with land. That helped them to an extent, but they also devised wooden log or bamboo rafts to cross rivers and seas. They adapted with all kinds of climate. They became lactose tolerant and adjusted to the kind of food locally available while traversing the globe. There was no need to buy an apartment or rent a flat. Safety came from within nature itself. They slept in the hollows of trees, sheltered in caves formed by time, or constructed makeshift huts when needed. Nothing was permanent. To survive, they were forced to roam, always wandering, always searching. The stones we collect today for fun were our arms and ammunitions. That protected our lives. Stone, tools we used for millions of years. Our ancestors showed remarkable adaptability to extreme climates. From coolest to hottest atmospheres. Life was really tough. The average lifespan was much shorter. Very few lived to become old. Soon they learned to domesticate animals. One of the greatest inventions was wood log or bamboo rafts. They braved rivers and even seas in bamboo rafts. The first bands mainly kept close to coastal areas. They moved on foot, but the crude rafts they invented gave them great freedom to spread across the world. They crossed rivers swollen by seasonal rains. Climbed hills slick with mud. Rested beneath the vast canopy of stars. At night, shadows danced around their fires. Blending with dreams of what lay ahead. A world no one had ever seen. One morning, as golden sunlight stretched across the land, they arrived at the edge of a vast desert. The old woman paused, her heart heavy with the weight of the journey. Many would never return. Yet without hesitation, they stepped forward. Their footprints marked the first passage of humankind into the unknown. And so, with both wonder and caution, they ventured into a world of endless mystery, forever changing the destiny of humankind. Because deep down, across every land and language, the human story is one. We are one.